seconds.
Is this where the damn drumming and the music kicks in?
Yeah. Everybody, welcome to another episode of On the Pipe Podcast. This is Tuesday, October 12th, 2021, and that means it is another edition of OTP Tuesday coming at you live. I'm your host, as always, Tyler Shepardson, and I really appreciate you joining me here for this episode. We have a jam-packed episode for you. Can't wait to bring it to you. Tonight on the show, we will have XC2 competitor coming straight off of a second place podium finish, Lyndon Snodgrass from the Babbitts Online Monster Energy Factory Kawasaki team, coming here from Australia. He's been racing the XC2 class for 2 years now. And we kind of talked to him about his development throughout those 2 years and what he plans to do going forward. And also a big bout with Lyme disease that he actually went through throughout this year. So we talked to him about Lyme disease, how he got it, how it affected him. And it was a really interesting conversation. And then right after that, we have the other man of the hour, the man that the championship will come down to next weekend, the man that can win it all with just one more race win, the man that currently has the white plate and the points lead back, Ben Kelley, joins us on tonight's episode to talk about not only his race this weekend, where he won in dominating fashion by over 2 minutes, to get that points lead back. But we also talked to him about this season. We talked to him about his career. We talked to him about his goals. And we even talked to him about pressure of replacing Caleb Russell on that team, and among several other things. It was actually a really awesome conversation with Ben Kelley. Couldn't be any more grateful for how thankful that I am that both of those fellas were able to join me tonight. It was a really cool conversation, and I can't wait for you all to hear it. But first, let's get to this week's episode of OTP. The stage is set, and everything is in line. This championship will come down to the wire. It is what we hope for every single year, but it is what has happened not a single one of the years. To my knowledge, there has not been a time where we have gone into the last round with the points this close. It is winner take all with an asterisk on it, because right now, if you look at the results are provisional from this past weekend's race. While I am not 100% sure what is going on with it, I know that some lines that some people were taking have came into question. I know that there is people on video taking lines that may or may not be legal. Now, it is a waiting game to figure out which one of those lines are legal, who was in the video, what happened, was it more than 25 feet? There's a lot of stuff that has to be figured out. We are currently at 9:30 on Tuesday evening, and there has not been a ruling. There has not been anything said or any comments made other than when you look at the results, it says these results. You know what it says. It says something about their provisionary, or the results ain't set yet because we don't know what is happening. That's basically what I'm getting to. So unless something crazy happens, the way that it sits right now, Ben Kelley in the lead by 4 points over Stu Baylor. For a first place at a GNCC, you score 30 points. For a second place, you score 25 points. There's a 5-point difference between first place and second place. So that means Stu being down by 4, if he wins, he puts 5 points on Ben Kelley. He wins the championship by a point. If Ben Kelley wins, and Stu gets second, he will win it by 9 points, the way that it sits right now. So there's all sorts of crazy scenarios that you can get into. What if Stu gets second and Ben gets third, and maybe Josh Strang pulls out a big old W? Well, in that case, there's a 3-point difference between second and third. Remember, Ben is up by 4 points. So Stu if he gets second, Ben gets third, he will still give the championship to Ben Kelley in that scenario. If Ben Kelley beats Stu by any position, even if Ben gets seventh and Stu gets eighth, Ben Kelley will win this championship. So it is a winner-take-all, and we kind of talk about it with Ben in this interview tonight, so you'll hear some of it. But even though no matter what happens, Ben Kelley's going out there to win this race, and no matter what happens, Stu Baylor is going out there to win this race. In all essence, it is a winner-take-all situation, and I could not be any more excited for it. I will tell you, I had absolutely zero intentions of driving 12 hours to Crawfordsville, Indiana to watch this Ironman race, but I will tell you, that is a trip that I will be making. I will be in those woods in Crawfordsville, Indiana at Ironman Raceway, because this is history being made, and this is going to be electric. It's going to be an awesome sight to see. Not only that, the WXC battle is going to come down to the wire as well. Rachel Archer and Becca Sheets are 2 points away from each other right now. If you factor in all the drops, they are 2 points away from each other right now. So according to my quick calculations, if Rachel wins, Becca has to get third or better, and she will still win the championship. If something crazy happens and Becca does not finish in the top three and Rachel Archer does not win, then Becca will grab that championship, her third WXC GNCC championship, and she will ride off into the sunset and retire that number one plate, as she has came out and said this will be her last year competing in the GNCCs. Rachel Archer coming over from New Zealand, I'm pretty sure. She has made a name for herself. She has won just as many races as Becca, except Becca is now up by 2. So she has certainly made a name for herself, and that is going to be a battle to watch. And Rachel, no matter what happens, will be here and will be competing for these championships for some time, as she has proven that she is one of the fastest girls out there on the track. And as we mentioned with Becca, it being her farewell season, no doubt that she wants to end her season with another number one plate. So excited to watch that one. But anyway, we'll get into the races here in a second. I want to take a quick moment to throw out some T's and P's. We've kind of been doing that in the last couple episodes now, just with injuries and things going around. But I do want to ask for everyone's T's and P's, thoughts and prayers, whatever you do. My pops actually went in for a back surgery today. So he's in the hospital right now. I actually talked to him right before. Sorry, my dog is chewing a water bottle, so I had to take it from her. But yeah, my pops had a back surgery today. It was a pretty gnarly one. They had to go in from the front, which means they took all of his guts out, laid him on a table, fixed his back, put his guts back in him. Some crazy shit. Excuse my language. But everything's good now. I talked with him right before I started recording the show. But obviously that is a quite invasive of a surgery. So I usually keep my family out of things and things going on in my life out of things. But yeah, just some T's and P's from my pops would be cool. We also got Ben Parsons. He's still recovering from all of his injuries. He's been posting some updates, which is awesome to see. Awesome to see that he is up and around and getting back to it again. So yeah, if you just put your T's and P's with those folks and anybody else who's recovering from an injury or going through a tough time. Just know that we're all here supporting you as well. I want to give a thanks to our buddies over at Armored Graphics. You can check them out, armoredgraphics.com. They are a local North Carolina company. They do top-notch, top-quality work with top-notch, quality materials. So check them out, armoredgraphics.com. You can find them on social media at Armored Graphics. Super great group of guys. Paul, the owner over there, he's one of my best friends. He helps me out a lot, and they help the show out a lot, and they help a lot of riders out a lot. So if you're in the market for graphics, I know we're coming up on the off season, and then before you know it, the next season will be starting. Keep Armor Graphics in mind. Remember, if you order online and use promo code OTP, that'll save you 15%. If you want to get your own set of OTP graphics, they're not on the website. They are exclusive. If you shoot me a message, we'll get you set up, get you in contact, and give you everything you need to know to get yourself a set of OTP graphics. We've seen them on KTMs, we've seen them on Yamahas, we've seen them on Kawasaki's. Can't wait to see some on a gas. If you have a gas, get you an OTP kit, because I think it'll look nasty. Same thing with a Husky. I think they'll look good on a Husky. They'll probably look good on anything. Whatever bike you got, hit us up. We'll get you an OTP graphic kit courtesy of Armored Graphics. Also want to give a shout out to Ichthus CBD. That is IKTHUS CBD. You can check them out, ichthuscbd.com, or online on the social medias as well, at Ichthus CBD. They are a good friend of the show, and I've used their products, and I've talked about it before on the show, but there is a science of why their products stand apart from the rest of the CBD products that you see. So if you're curious about CBD in itself and how it works, for one, or you want to know what sets Ichthus CBD apart from all the other companies, then go ahead and check them out, ichthuscbd.com. Tons of information, tons of testimonials, tons of ways for you to figure out what's going on and really read the differences over there. So just want to give a big thank you to them for supporting the show and for supporting so many riders as well. With that being said, let's get straight into it. Last week, there was no episode of OTP Tuesday that made it out to your ear holes. I sincerely apologize for that. There was an episode that was recorded, uploaded it just like I always upload it, but for whatever reason, the file ended up being corrupt. So when I went to post it, everything looked like it posted, and then people started texting me and saying that they couldn't hear it. And then people were texting me saying that it didn't show up at all. I ended up getting home, finding out that the file itself had been messed up. I don't know how it happened. That's never happened before. So it wasn't just where I pushed it out to all the different podcast networks. It was the actual file itself, because then the file wouldn't actually play on my computer either. So I lost that entire file. I lost that entire show. And then I actually had things lined up for the rest of the week. A couple things were work and a couple things were with my family. So I was not able to re-record that whole episode. I do work a normal job. I'm the safety director for a telecom company. Those who have listened before, you probably knew that already. But I work 10-hour days. It's tough to get home and really put the time aside to do this sometimes. And that is not an excuse. I'm not making excuses. I've rambled about this in the past, and I know that this show has really gained a following, really gained a listening. So I sincerely apologize that last week that show did not happen. I put the effort together, and I tried to put it out there, but like I said, somehow that file got messed up, and then I didn't have time to re-record it. I should have done it. I'm sorry that I didn't. I hope you can forgive me and we can move forward. But, I mean, right now it's almost 10 o'clock at night, and I'm here recording this one after working all day as well. I was at the office at 6 o'clock this morning. So, really doing all that I can to get you these shows coming at you and to keep the show coming. So, that's why it means so much to me that there are the people that listen and that you guys do listen and follow along with OTP. I'm trying to do something different, trying to bring you the news, trying to give you these interviews and a greater look at the riders. Kind of that whole thing hit home for me today when I was talking to Ben. Ben actually told me that he caught up on a bunch of the shows and listened to them on the way to a race, and made mention that no one else is doing stuff like this, and that he liked to get on and listen to interviews and hear from the other riders as well. As you guys know, we had Stu on I guess it is effectively the last episode, but it was 2 weeks ago. So it was cool to hear that from him, but that's just one example. Like I mentioned, all the messages and the support that we've gotten, I could not be more thankful for it, and I am sincerely grateful that you guys choose to listen to OTP and to listen to OTP Tuesdays. Trying to keep everything coming at you, and I hope that you enjoy it. And if you don't enjoy it, let me know. I'd like to know how we can make it better, because after all, the goal is to bring you the news and information, but if it sucks and you hate it, then it doesn't really matter now, does it? So, thanks for listening. Whatever you're listening to this on, if you could hit subscribe, that'd be super cool. Or if you can go ahead and give us a follow on the social medias, that is also pretty cool as well. But anyway, yeah, thanks for listening. Thanks for being here. Thanks for dealing with my shenanigans. Last weekend was the National Enduro. Not last weekend, but the weekend before. It was the National Enduro in Indiana. Josh Toth coming out swinging. He grabs the win by quite a lot. He put together a very decisive victory and grabbed the win up in Indiana at the National Enduro. Ben Kelley and Stu Baylor battled it out for those final two podium positions. I think it was either 3 seconds or 0.3 of a second. I think it was 0.3 between Ben Kelley and Stu Baylor, but it was Ben Kelley getting second place, and it was Stu Baylor getting that third and final position. Stu pretty heavily in the lead there in that that National Enduro Championship standings, looking to make it 5. He won 3 in a row, and he won 1 prior to that. So looking to make it 5 National Enduro Championships, and sitting pretty good in his way to doing that. Pro 2 was won by Brock Hepler. Brock Hepler is on... This is one of those things I don't know how in detail I want to get on it. Brock Hepler won Pro 2. Jesse Ansley finished second place. That would be the first race all year long in that National Enduro Series that he did not win, but it was good enough for him to wrap up that Pro 2 National Championship. Super stoked for Jesse Ansley. He's a good friend of mine, a good friend of the show. And then Stephen Nicholas rounded out your podium in that third, which, if I'm not mistaken, he is an Ichthus CBD athlete with a code that you can use. National Enduro does not post their women results. Kind of messed up if you ask me, but I was just reading those results off of their Instagram. There is nothing on there about the women's results, and off the top of my head, I don't remember who won, but that is the way the National Enduro shook up. Stu, as we mentioned, was on the show beforehand, and this was just something that was pointed out by my buddy Big Tom as we were talking, and it's something that I talked about on the show that is forever in the cloud somewhere from last week. But Stu came on the show, and we were talking to him about the GNCC title and the National Enduro title. He said he wasn't really focusing on National Enduros and putting all of his focus on the GNCC Championship and the task at hand. So it was interesting that he came on and said that, and then went to the National Enduro and got third. Not sure if that's correlated. Not sure that it matters, because he is so far ahead in those National Enduro points. I think he's an entire race ahead. So he goes out there, and he's probably... I don't think it's a lack of focus. I don't think it's a lack of trying. I think it's he knows what he needs to do, and as far as both series are concerned. And so why push it and risk getting hurt and throwing away another championship for a championship that you already essentially have locked up? So Stu's probably just out there, and he actually did make mention on the show that he knows what he needs to do and just needs to be on the podium, and so he's probably just riding well within those bounds and rides his way to a third place finish. And then, speaking of Stu, I'm just going to go ahead and talk about this right here. He posted today him getting stitches out of his knee and asking his doctor if he was cleared to ride. Now, obviously, he's been riding all year, but he has not been cleared to ride all year. But he was getting stitches out of his knee, and it didn't recollect in my mind until a little bit after I saw his Instagram story of him getting stitches out of his knee. When he was on the show, he talked about his meniscus locking up and causing issues with his knee, and that his knee will basically lock to where it can't extend. And then he got stitches out this week. So that leads me to believe that somewhere in the past 2 weeks, Stu Baylor went and got meniscus surgery and then went and raced this past weekend. So there's a championship on the line. He has to get a surgery so his knee can move, so his leg can move. And he goes out there and still races and still gets second. It blows my mind. I just saw that. It blows my mind. I don't understand how that is humanly possible. But, I mean, every single one of these riders do things that aren't humanly possible. We talked with Josh Toth about some of the injuries that he's went through and some of the injuries that he's overcame and everything he's done to do that. And I think that's insane. So these riders, tougher than hell. It's really cool to see, and it's really cool to see how hard they push and how hard or how much goes into these things. Everyone just sees the results on Sunday, but the results on Sunday don't show what's happening between Monday and Saturday. And I think there's a lot of stuff that we don't know about and a lot of things that these riders have to overcome. And that is why this sport is so tough and why these riders deserve so much respect from things like that. Moving into this past weekend, it was the GNCC, the penultimate round. That is the word of the weekend. Everyone was saying the penultimate round. I think even in my Instagram post, it said the penultimate round because it's fun. Penultimate is the second to last one of something in a series. So it's the second to last GNCC. It is the penultimate GNCC. Anyway, it was awesome conditions. I mean, you couldn't really ask for better weather, better dirt. It wasn't muddy. It wasn't dusty. It started getting dusty there at the end of the day in some of the field sections, but in all intents and purposes, it was an excellent day to go racing. Actually rode up on Sunday morning to the race, left North Carolina at 4:30 in the morning, drove straight up to the, I rode straight up to the race. I rode with Josh Strang up there just so he would have a little bit of relief driving when we came back. So that was a cool experience in itself. But we left at 4:30 in the morning, drove straight up to there, got there about 10:30. Josh got on a bike, went and looked at a couple different sections of the track, and then got dressed, went out and raced. As soon as the race was over, we jumped back in the truck and headed straight back down. Strang is awaiting the birth of his second child, so wanting to be around as long as possible, which is why he didn't go up Friday. But still goes out there and puts on a great race, all things considered as well. So that was cool to be there and kind of see all that, but also an opportunity to get up there and see the race and see what's going on and take some pictures and witness this history that we're witnessing with this whole battle for the championship. But as we kind of mentioned earlier, Ben Kelley grabbed the overall win by more than 2 minutes. So it was a must-have race, and he went out there and got it done. He grabbed the point lead back by 4 points over Stu, who ended up in the second place position, and then Thad Duvall and Lane Michael. In a battle that came down to the wire, it was Thad Duvall that ended up making the pass there late in the race and grabbed that third and final podium position. If you have not yet watched Mason Rader's highlight video or recap video of the race, you can go back and watch it and see that there was actually a pretty nasty of a crash between Lane and Thad. Lane definitely got the bad end of it, went flying off of his bike. It looked pretty gnarly, but Lane's tough as hell too, jumps back on his bike and keeps going. So it was cool to see him have a good ride. A rider that, I mean, he won that Sprint Enduro Championship this year. He has got the speed to win these races, and he's a really exciting guy to watch. But like I mentioned, Ben Kelley takes a win, Stuart Baylor in second, and Thad Duvall is going to round out the podium in third. In that XC2 class, Johnny Gerard goes out there, gets it done. He wraps up the XC2 championship 1 round early. We saw Johnny get so close to grabbing that championship last year, ended up getting hurt, and Craig DeLong earned that championship and ran that number 1 plate all year this year, but Johnny Gerard got a little bit of his revenge back, and I'm sure he is stoked beyond all belief to go out there and finally get that XC2 championship, especially with the road that it has taken him to get there. Super pumped to see Johnny G grab that championship. Lyndon Snodgrass, who we will talk to here in just a couple of minutes, he ends up in second place, right on the back wheel of Johnny Gerard. They came through scoring neck and neck. Lyndon put on a great race himself, and he grabs his 5th podium on the year in that second place spot. And then our reigning defending XC2 champion Craig DeLong will round out the XC2 podium in that 3rd place position. All 3 of those riders swapping back and forth quite a bit. It was an excellent race in that XC2 class. And then looking down at our XC3 class, Hunter Neuwirth on a fill-in ride for the Teely Energy Racing KTM team. he goes out there and gets the win in that XC3 class. Super stoked for him. We saw Jonathan Johnson move up to the XC2 class where he was racing as 125 in the XC2 class. And then Chase Colville actually raced a Cowie in the 250A class where he went out and was leading early on and then ran into some bike issues and ended up not finishing the race. That paved the way to leave that XC3 door wide open. Hunter Neuwirth takes advantage of that and grabs the win. Jason Lipscomb in second place in that XC3 class, and Jake Froman will round out the XC3 podium. Our women's pro class, it was Becca Sheets taking the decisive victory. That was one that came down to the wire. That all happened on the last lap. Going into the last lap, I was standing there. Rachel Archer came through first, and Becca Sheets was behind. And then Becca actually, I don't know if it was the last lap or second to last lap, but Becca basically slid out and had a pretty good crash right there coming out of the scoring section in the field section there. But Becca Sheets was able to put her head down and dig and ended up grabbing the WXC win and adding to her points lead going into this final round. Rachel Archer, as we mentioned, in that second place spot. And then Corey Steed, who's been having an excellent go at it here lately, she rounds out the podium in that third place position on her Kawasaki. Our top amateur, it was Jojo Cunningham once again. No surprise there. I think he has won 10 of the 12 top amateur awards on the season. So he goes out there and gets another one. I think he'll be racing 250A again at the next race and should wrap up that top amateur yearly award. But what a weekend of racing. What a sight to see. If you talked to me at all on Sunday, I'm sorry, I was a complete zombie. I know I had several conversations where I was sitting there thinking that I was making no sense with what I was saying. I was limited on sleep on Friday night, and then Saturday night, barely slept at all, woke up at 4, drove the whole way there. I was a literal zombie. So if you talked to me on Sunday, I apologize. I was basically just a shell of myself. But I was stoked to be there and be at the races and see everybody and see the racing action and watch it all unfold right in front of my face. It was super cool to be out there, as it always is. But anywho, this is an episode of OTP Tuesday that I think is pretty cool. As we mentioned, getting to talk with Lyndon Snodgrass and also getting to talk with Ben Kelley. I don't want to take up any more of your time than I have to. So with that being said, thank you so much for listening to On the Pipe Podcast. I'm going to play both of those interviews right after this, so you will find them there. As I mentioned, if you could, go ahead and subscribe wherever you are listening at. Be a friend, tell a friend if you enjoy these shows. Let somebody know about On the Pipe Podcast and about what we do on these Tuesdays here. I think they're pretty fun. We get to recap what was happening of the races. This weekend, we got National Enduro going on, a whole bunch of local races going on. Next weekend, it all comes down to the Ironman Raceway as far as that XC1 and WXC titles are concerned. I will be there. Hopefully, you will be there too. I'll have a whole box of shirts with me, so if you still want an OTP shirt, I'll be at Ironman. If you want one between now and Ironman or don't plan on being at Ironman, shoot me a message, let me know. We'll get one sent out to you. Until then, thank you so much for supporting the show, and thank you so much for tuning in this week. We will see you next week. Here is Lyndon Snodgrass and Benjamin Kelley. Joining us this evening, he is a ISDE world champion and an XC2 competitor coming fresh off a second place finish, Lyndon Snodgrass. Lyndon, what's going on tonight, man?
T-Shep, not a lot, man. Just got back from dinner and so you giving me a call. Thought we'd have a chat.
Good deal. So Taco Tuesday, was it all right tonight?
Yeah, no, it was pretty solid. It was good.
That's always good news. But man, just want to get into it real quick. Last week, we talked about it. We were playing some Call of Duty, talking about coming on the show last week. And you said, man, let's wait until after this weekend so I can get on the podium and then we'll have something to talk about. You did exactly that. You come out there, you get on the podium, a second place finish right on Johnny's rear wheel. Tell us about the weekend. How'd your race go on Sunday?
Yeah, I mean, Sunday was good. got off to a good start, grabbed the whole shot, and yeah, was able to lead a bunch, and then and was just in the mix all day, really, battling, and it was a lot of fun because haven't really been in the mix at the last few rounds, so it was good to be back up there. And yeah, honestly, I enjoyed the track. I thought the track was good too, and I just found myself having a lot of fun out there. So that's where it was going good, and I was able to enjoy it, and to get on the podium was even better.
Man, I made a couple little notes here, but I completely forgot like the most important note of them all. Let's talk about this damn hole shot, because I've seen a few different videos from a few different angles. You coming around hot around the outside, just like Eminem in that Trailer Park song. What was going through your mind coming into that second corner? Because you guys were kind of even. You and Thorne were kind of even going into the first one. Then going into the second one, little fist pump coming from Thorne. And then all of a sudden, a green bike just cutting across the outside at the last minute and stealing that hole shot. Walk us through that, man. What was going through your mind while you were just wide open going around that turn?
Honestly, I'm not sure what was sort of going through my mind, but I've had a few good starts this year, and I've been close to getting the hole shot a couple of times. I just haven't got it. And so when I got to that first corner and looked up and saw the hole shot line, I was like, I'm getting there first. And then
so this was your first hole shot this year?
This is my first hole shot ever at a GNCC.
Hell yeah.
So yeah, I was looking at that line, and I just said, I'm going to hold it wide open. And I knew the track was wide as hell. I could go as wide as I wanted. I just held it wide open there on the outside. Got a little sketchy, but got it done. So I was pumped on it.
So I was actually standing right next to that, but I was taking pictures of the first corner, so I didn't even see any of this happen right behind me until afterwards when I started seeing the videos. In real time, did you see Thorne's fist go up? Like, did you see his hand come off the handlebars?
No, I didn't even see. I knew he was on the left of me, and I wasn't really focused on that. I was just trying to get to that corner first, and obviously get out and get a lead. So, yeah, I didn't even notice he was doing that until I seen the video afterwards.
Yeah,
yeah.
Same with me. I didn't notice it either. But you got to the corner first. You grabbed that hole shot, and then by the time you came to the pro pits, you were out in front by a good bit in the lead of that race. And then, you checked in a couple times in second, checked in third. It seems like there was a lot of bouncing back and forth. Were you guys all kind of trading places a lot throughout the race?
Yeah, I actually crashed at the end of the first lap, and then I got bumped back to second there because I ended up wrapping the handguard onto the front brake, and it was like I was stuck there trying to bend it back out for a minute. Well, not a minute, but feels like a minute. It's there for a few extra seconds trying to do that, and then got back going, and I was in second. And then and then just kind of the other guys kind of caught up then, and it was kind of just like switching it back and forth from there on. And it was good fun, trading positions, and it was some good racing. So yeah, that's the little way that went. And it was fun.
I do gotta ask, man, standing around in the pits, I heard the boys talking. Is there any truth to what I hear about you getting passed in a field section?
Honestly, I can't remember. Probably.
I remember. I forgot who was saying it, but I said that I think it was Craig DeLong. Said they got around you in a field section, and the comments were this world class damn grass track guy getting passed in the field. What's up with that?
It's more than likely. I can't remember getting passed in the field, but probably. It was slippery, so kind of was taking it easy a little bit there. I don't know. Probably happened. Can't remember.
Damn. I guess maybe it didn't happen. It seems like if it would have stuck in your memory a little bit more. So maybe we're all going crazy.
I don't know. Yeah, there for 3 hours, you can't remember the whole race.
That is exactly right. But let's talk about this last lap. You came in third place, I think 24 or 26 seconds down to second, and then I think another 4 or 6 seconds up to first from that. You end up coming through just about as close of a finish as you can get. Like right after Johnny, you came through. So that means you made up a position in 30 seconds in that last lap when you guys are both pushing for that win. Walk us through that last lap.
Like the last lap, I kind of put my head down and thought I'm gonna try my hardest to see what I can do, and then I ended up catching up to Quincy. Was right behind him for a little bit and got by him, and then I think that was probably at like the 5.5, 6 mile mark, and then I just rode as hard as I could, trying to catch up to Johnny. I knew he had because we could see in the field, I knew he had a decent lead on us. So, I just dropped the hammer, I guess, and went as hard as I could. I mean, I was getting sketchy. I was bouncing off rocks and stuff. But, I kept it up right, and then got to like the last little wood section, and I managed to catch right up to Johnny. But I wasn't able to get past him. He was riding good, so kind of hard to pass when he was riding so good, and only just caught him with not even a mile to go, so wasn't able to get it done, but cut in right behind him, and made for a good race.
Man, there's got to be a good feeling, especially everything that you've been through, kind of with missing a lot of the season last year and then transitioning through all of it this year. I mean, to know that you have the speed to win. I mean, you got your first win this year, been on 5 podiums this year. Do you think that you are a title contender in that class? I mean, obviously you got to think that, or you wouldn't be lining up on Sundays. But I guess in the experience that you had last year, and then getting a full season under your belt this year, what does that do for the confidence going into next year with a clean slate, no bad races, no throwaways? It's a fresh start with a championship on the line.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I do believe I can be a title contender, and I just want to next year. I just want to, keep this good momentum and be on the podium or every round basically. To win every round would be insane, but obviously that's hard to do. But I want to be getting wins, and if not, I want to be on the podium, being consistent as possible. And that's the aim of the game. Everyone wants to be doing that. So I'm gonna work for it and see how it goes. But like you said, I'm excited for a new season next year and having another go at it. So.
I mean, no doubt you have the sprint speed. I mean, you've overall an ISDE test. That's not an easy feat. So, and going back and forth with Johnny at some of the sprint enduros last year and this year, has it been a struggle to adapt to the 3-hour race, or has that come pretty naturally to you as well?
It was a little bit at the start. Last year, but then after a few of them, I was kind of used to it. I like the 3-hour style of racing. I probably prefer that over a sprint, to be honest. I just kind of like the whole everyone starts at the same time, and once the flag drops, you're all racing for 3 hours to the finish. So I kind of like that whole aspect of it, and obviously you got to be in shape and be able to ride variable terrains in the GNCC series. So I kind of like the GNCCs the way that is. So honestly, it wasn't too hard getting used to it. It was just more like getting a few under my belt, seeing how the tracks sort of form up, and getting used to that and setting the bike up the way I'm comfortable riding it on there. And it's just like everything, it takes time. I feel like it wasn't too bad getting used to it, and now I'm really enjoying it. So
yeah, for sure, and the results are showing that. And so, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe wasn't Ironman last year you got second place, but that was your first GNCC podium?
Yeah. So Ironman last year was my first XC2 podium.
All right. And so for those who don't know, you had to go back home to Australia to sort out some visa stuff, and then ended up getting stuck over there for longer than you wanted. Got it cleared up, came back, raced the last few rounds, got on the podium, second place at Ironman last year. So what did you think about that track at Ironman last year? I mean, coming off of a second place this week and knowing that you've been on the podium at Ironman before, does that give you a lot more confidence going into next weekend?
Yeah, I mean, it was cool getting the first podium there. I feel like that track if any track kind of suits me more, it's kind of like the more wide open tracks, kind of like Ironman. So, yeah, it's a fun track, and obviously, like, it's a big event. Like, so many people go out there, and there's, thousands of fans and stuff, and it's just a cool atmosphere there. So, I'm looking forward to it, and it being the last round. So, yeah, I think it'll be fun, and yeah, like I said, I just want to go out there and do the best I can, and hopefully be battling for another win. So.
Yeah, for sure. And like you said, Ironman always is a spectacle, and I think now with that XC1 title on the line and with the WXC title on the line, I think it's going to be even crazier and even more energy out there for Ironman this year as well. But, I mean, you're sitting good right now, third place in points. It'd be awesome to cap that season off with a win. So I know that's what you're looking for next weekend. But last week when we were kind of talking and setting this whole thing up and you coming on the show, one of the things that we were talking about while we were playing was this whole battle with Lyme disease that you saw throughout this year. So as when you started talking to me a little bit about it then, and I kind of wanted to save it to be able to talk about it on the podcast just because I'm sure that's not an easy experience to go through. So what happened? Like, how did you get it? Because you got it this year at a race, right?
Yeah, it was kind of random. Like, I didn't even know what it was. I mean, I've heard of it, but I didn't think you could just catch it so easily or whatever. But I guess around the time of the Mason-Dixon GNCC, I think maybe the week after, I was doing some riding up that way. Like, I was meant to do some testing in the rocks, and I don't know, I think maybe I got bitten by a tick there or something. And then, man, I just, like, the week after that race, I just wasn't feeling that great. And then the week after that, I still wasn't really feeling good. I was, like, tired and drained. And then there was only, like, 2 weeks in between that race and Snowshoe, and kind of just lined up at Snowshoe feeling average. Like, didn't really feel like I was, like, anywhat prepared for it. I hadn't even ridden my bike. I bicycled, like, the track twice, did 2 laps in the bicycle, and I was already felt like I was, like, ran down and tired. I was like, man, something's up. So race Snowshoe was as good as useless. Struggled to even just get around the track, let alone do the, like, race. I ended up doing, like, 2 hours or something and calling it quits. And then, so, like, the Monday after Snowshoe, I went to the doctors and got a bunch of blood tests and stuff because it was actually Grant Davis's mum said maybe it looked like I had Lyme disease because I had this weird, like, rash on my skin kind of thing. And sure enough, like, got the results back, and it was. So obviously started the treatment for that or whatever. It was antibiotics or something. And then, yeah, it was like kind of crappy timing because it was the summer break, and I wanted to be, like, just relaxing for a bit and then training, and I was sick for most of the first month of summer break. So it was kind of tough just trying to get back healthy, and it's so hot. It's my first, like, full summer in North Carolina, so it was, like, humid and, like, really hot. So I was like, any little bit of exercise I tried to do, I was just felt exhausted. But anyway, I started to feel better, and it was just tough, though, getting back into training because it was just, like I said, like, summer, and it just ended up taking me longer than I figured it would to get back healthy. So
about how long did it take? So obviously dealing with a lot of the fatigue and not being able to train, was there any other symptoms of it besides that? And how long did that whole fatigue and not being able to work out and everything, how long did that last for?
Well, the whole time in between the Mason-Dixon and Snowshoe, I didn't train at all. I had, like, a massive fever, and, like, I guess, like, it gets into, like, your joints and stuff, and, like, I didn't even want to get out of bed and, like, walk around because I had this terrible fever, and it was just, my whole body ached, and I don't know, I was just wasn't interested in doing anything. I couldn't really be bothered getting out of bed. But so that was like a week or so of that, and then I kind of felt better, but just still had no energy. I mean, that was kind of like 3 weeks around thereabouts when went and did snowshoes. So it was kind of like 3 weeks before I figured out what I had. And then after that, it was probably another couple of weeks just feeling average. And then I started training again after a couple of weeks of being on the medication, and I felt good, but I didn't quite have. Well, I basically was starting from scratch again because I'd been doing nothing for ages, and I felt so bad. So it was kind of like starting fresh training again. So it was tough. And then day by day, started feeling a little bit better, and I don't know, probably like 6 weeks to 8 weeks after getting it, I was kind of like feeling back to my normal self. So
6 to 8 weeks after being diagnosed with it, or 6 to 8 weeks after that Mason-Dixon when you started feeling bad?
Maybe 6 weeks after being diagnosed, I would say.
Dang.
But it was just, like after I started like taking the medication and like getting better, it just was tough because I was wanting to do everything still, and I kind of couldn't because I was still recovering, kind of thing. So I was like just taking it day by day, and I wanted to be out, hammering down, 30-minute motos with the boys, and doing 15 minutes and taking a break, doing another 15 minutes, and that's kind of the way it was for a few weeks like that. And then I ended up getting to the point where I was pretty confident that I was back to my normal self, and then the break was coming over. We did that race in the rocks, and I sucked at that one up at Beckley, but I don't think that had anything to do with the Lyme disease. I just think that I was kind of just first race back from being sick, and was kind of overthinking it a little bit, and then I ended up just having a bad day. But then we went on to like the Burr Oak or whatever, and I felt good there. And then obviously on the weekend I felt really good. So I'm just pumped to be feeling like my normal self again and fit and healthy, and ready for this last round and looking forward to next year, really.
So now, as far as that Lyme disease is concerned, are you back to 100% now? Is it something that still lingers in your mind, or is it completely in your past?
Yeah, no, I'd say I've been back to 100% for a while now. Like I said, it hung around for a little bit, and then I felt like I was recovered, but just like wasn't quite back to my normal fitness for a little bit. But then, like the past month or so, I couldn't even tell you that I'd had it if I didn't remember having it. So it's good to have that in the past or whatever. And obviously, I still will be a little more careful now, I guess, when I go up north where those damn ticks are. But like I said, it was kind of random. I didn't even know you could even like get bitten by a tick and catch Lyme disease from it or whatever. So they say there's like snakes and spiders and stuff in Australia that can like kill you, but man, this thing way more deadly than anything I've seen.
And then you come over here and get Lyme disease.
Yeah, what's that about? Come on.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was interesting when we were talking about it before, because I've never known anybody personally that's gotten it, and I think a lot of people, especially over here, kind of saw Jimmy Dakotas when he came down with it. I think it hit him pretty hard when he was on the JGR team here in Charlotte. So yeah, I had never known anybody that had just, like you said, just got bit by a tick and got it. So that's why I was just curious about it more than anything, and to see how it affected you. But now back rolling, back racing, getting on podiums. What's your favorite thing to do to train? Do you guys ride moto a lot? You ride woods a lot? What do you like to do to train?
Honestly, I just like mixing it up, like doing everything. So like moto, woods, and I just find a good balance of everything. I feel like if you just stick to one thing, then you kind of get a little burnt out on it. But I like riding all sorts of tracks, really. But and then just like obviously mountain biking's fun for like off bike training and that. I don't really enjoy doing gym work or whatever. I don't find that all that exciting. But get it done here and there. So, but as far as training, like on the moto, I love going to like a motocross track once a week and ride in the woods a couple times a week and just keeping it fun.
Sweet. Well, good deal, man. And once again, I really appreciate you taking the time out to talk to me. It's cool to catch up. We're stoked to see you have a good weekend this past weekend, and then hopefully you can keep that rolling into Ironman next weekend. So wishing you all the luck, and I guess we'll see you here in about a week and a half.
All right, man. Yeah, thanks for having me on. And, pumped to be back on the show. So thanks for having me.
Hell yeah, locals. Thanks for your time, man.
No, all good. You getting on the Warzone or what?
You got a couple games in you?
Oh, yeah, I got a couple games in me.
All right. We're wrapping this up, getting on the Warzone. We'll talk to you later.
See ya.
Joining me now is a two-time XC2 champion and right on the verge of an XC1 and a National Enduro Pro 1 title. A lot to pan out over these next few weeks, but for right now, welcome to the show, Benjamin Kelley. Ben, how's it going?
It's going good, man. Just pulled off a big win this past Sunday, so feeling good, and it's a crazy time for sure now. Just a few more races to go to wrap up this season, in the Enduros and GNCC. So, just excited to keep it rolling and try to finish strong.
Oh, yeah, and there's a lot going on, especially in your world right now, and it's coming down 2 different seasons, going to end up finishing up here in, like you said, the next couple weeks. But for right now, let's talk about this past weekend. This past weekend was the first race. You didn't have the white plate, gave up the points lead before this one, and then you come into this one and you go out there and win by 2 minutes. Not just taking it down to the wire, but you win by over 2 minutes. How does that feel to not only get the win, but get such a dominant win and get that points lead back?
Yeah, it feels real good. When I won earlier this year in Florida, I had that was definitely a dominant performance for me, and I honestly felt similar this past weekend. Just honestly, I haven't been doing anything different. Just been going out there and trying to ride fast, but I kept it fun and was able to just stay focused all day and not crash. And honestly, that was the game changer. Recently, I've been riding really good and really fast, but just having a lot of crashes that are costing me a lot of time. So I'm coming up short on the win, even when I feel like I should have got it done. But so to pull off a win and ride strong all day, it means a lot. And it feels really good. It's crazy, days like that. It's almost sometimes it just goes easy for you. And I just had one of those days. So hopefully I can carry that into Ironman for the final round.
Well, I think you get that white plate and the points lead and end up in this position by having more than just one of those days. But you did say after the race that you just felt good and everything was clicking, kind of like what you were just saying now. Is that something more of a mental thing, you think, or just physically gelling with the bike and getting in the groove? Or how would you describe that part of it?
It's probably just a lot of things. I definitely have kind of been pretty stressed out, I guess, maybe overthinking some things like the championship and what's at stake. And so just when there's a lot on my mind, it can just exhaust you, that alone. So I've been trying to just keep it more fun and just remember to go out there and have fun and ride my dirt bike fast and take the little victories, little parts of the track that are fun to ride, or jumping things and blasting some berms here and there. And I don't know, just keeping it fun. But it's like you said, I didn't have the white plate. This was the first time since round 3, and I don't know, it was just, I wasn't even really thinking about that. I didn't even recognize that my bike looked any different, with the different graphics. It was weird. I was just focused on the race itself, and I definitely wanted that white plate back. I kind of felt like how I did earlier in the season after having not such a good first round. I just was focused on getting that points lead, and I did that here again this past weekend, and it worked out. So just going to try to keep the momentum rolling, and it's just, it's been a long season, and I've gone through so much like at the races with myself, and I feel like I've just learned like so much. It's crazy with this sport. Like, you're always learning. Everyone's always getting better. You know, like, you never like, it's not like just something clicks and like you're like, oh, I'm good, I'm set for a few years. I know what I'm doing. Like, every single race is different. Tracks are always changing. Certain guys are always going faster. It's just like there's so many things that are happening, and like we're going so fast out there, and your brain can only process so much. So like mistakes are bound to happen, and you're bound to like, you know, mess up here and there. But like, I don't know, it's just wild to do all that. I just try to learn everything I can from all my mistakes, and try to only make them once.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. And so last year, you were definitely one of the favorites coming into the season, just like you were definitely one of the favorites coming into this season. But last year, you ended up getting hurt and missed a good chunk of the round, or a good chunk of the season rather. But then you come back, and I think all but 2 rides you were on the podium, second places, third places, and if I'm not mistaken, you even clicked off a win. I'd have to go back and check. But anyway, so just being in that position last year, getting hurt, and kind of seeing that season go away, and now this year, this is everything that you looked forward to, and you're in the championship hunt, and you can wrap this thing up at the next round. Knowing that could have happened last year as well, and you're bringing it into this year, how does it feel finally being in this situation? Like, is it more exciting, or is it more nerve-wracking being in this position?
It's definitely exciting. You know, it's both. Like, it's nerve-wracking for sure, but honestly, now that we're like so close, it's almost like just more exciting than anything. Like, I'm just like amped up. Like, I want to get out there and get it done. Like, I don't know. I just want to win again, you know, just go fast, have a good race, and pull it off. Like, I don't know, it's wild just to think, like, it's crazy that the season's already over. Like, it goes by so fast in the moment. Like, it seems like it drags on, but next thing you know, like, boom, here we are at the last race. But yeah, it was a bummer for me to get hurt my rookie season last year, and like after 2019 I had such a good year, and yeah, I just like felt so good off season, everything, and you know, got hurt is what it is. But I was just bummed because, you know, being Caleb's last year, like, I only got to race him half a season, and yeah, I just really wanted to go out there and try to duke it out with him. And, you know, even if I was nowhere near the championship hunt, like, I wanted to battle with him at the races and stuff. And, you know, that's how you learn so much, is from those guys that have been around and done it. But, yeah, coming back halfway through that season, like, I had zero pressure. Like, Caleb was there. He had a big lead in the championship, so it was looking like he was going to wrap it up no problem. So the team was pumped. Like, they didn't care whether I got second or third. If I was on the podium, like, they were pumped, super pumped. And, yeah, so I had, like, a good second half of that season, coming back from a big injury for me. And, yeah, I won the final round, but got docked a position for a line that was too far off the track, so ended up not having any wins that year, which was a bummer after winning 2 the one prior. So, yeah, I just, you know, kind of did my thing this off season. It honestly didn't go the best. I just never really felt as good as I have past, and had some crashes and some injuries, just nagging things that happened to me. And so I didn't really have all that much confidence, and just like did what I could, but kept having like little injuries and things happening. But yeah, stayed strong, and was able to get the points lead and be the most consistent guy, even when I felt I wasn't having the best weekends. Like, overall, I was the most consistent guy, so that was cool. And yeah, finally, like in the summer, I was, you know, finally getting healthy and feeling good, and yeah, tried just carrying that into this second half of the season, and I feel like I'm still just getting better and better. And yeah, it's crazy, you know, one race to go, and I got just a 4-point lead here in the championship as of now. And yeah, I just want to go out and cap the year off strong, and really just try to win Ironman. I love that track, and it's always a big turnout, crazy event. So yeah, I just want to go out there and put in a good race, and hopefully I can pull off this championship. Just, yeah, it'd be awesome. It means a lot. We'll see.
I feel like Iron Man is going to be nuts this year. Like, Iron Man is usually nuts. Now, you guys coming down to the wire, I feel like it's going to be insane out there.
Yeah, it's wild. Like, that's like the biggest race of the year usually and draws a huge crowd. It's a bunch of spectators and racers. And
that's when the championship was wrapped up 2 rounds ago.
I know, that's what's crazy. Like, everyone's hyping this up battle between me and Stu, which is awesome. Like, me, like, I'm a fan of the sport. Like, I'm like, even like, you know, the WXC, they like, between Rachel and Becca, there's only a few points separating them. So like,
yeah,
I'm excited to see who's going to pull that off. And, you know, me and Stu will be out there afterwards. And, yeah, I just think it's cool, you know, just brings a lot of hype to the sport. And, yeah, we're both battling hard for this thing. We both want it bad. So, yeah, we'll see what happens here in 2 weeks.
So is that something like the crowds and people yelling and throwing up pit boards and all that kind of stuff? Is that something that hypes you up? Is that something that gets you going when you're out there racing?
Yeah, for sure. It's like, I mean, we're so like, you're so focused that like you don't see everything, but like you can hear the crowd or you see people hanging in the track cheering you on. Like, I don't know, hypes you up, just like gives you a boost of energy, makes you want to just like, I don't know, like hit the corner faster or rip a wheelie down a fast straightaway. Just like, I don't know, just something that'll, you know, show them that like you see them and you want to hype them up, you know, just right back at them. So you kind of like feed off each other. It's cool.
Man, and I think everybody is such a fan of what's going on right now, and I think everybody is so interested in what's going on right now. But now that we're sitting there talking about it, it just piqued my mind. Earlier I was talking to Jesse Ansley on the phone, and one of the things that we were talking about is that Stu's fans come strong, they come heavy. When you're out there in the woods, have you had anybody like say anything negative, or has it all just been all cheers? I would like to think that there's nothing crazy going on, but
yeah, nah, not at the race or anything. I never had any problems. Like, seems like everyone cheers. It's like, it almost seems like everyone cheers both of us on, you know. I think anyone at the race hanging out there is like just cheering on everybody. I'm sure they have their favorites, but like it seems like a lot of people will come up to me like fully kitted in Yamaha like shirts and hats and stuff and be like, yeah, we love Yamaha, like we're big Stu Bailey fans, but we like you too. So like it's pretty cool. Like I'm sure he has a lot of similar stuff. I don't know, we'll see. But you know, certain people I'm sure like are a hater of me and vice versa with him, but like that's just how some people are. I mean, it is what it is. Like, you definitely see it, and I mean, like, it affects you a little. Like, I don't really, like, it doesn't really, but like, you do see it, and it's like, dang, like, these people don't even know who I am, and they're hating on me for stuff that is like just false information. But whatever, that's just the world we live in. But I mean, definitely got way more positive people backing me than the negative, so it's no worries.
Unfortunately, dude, that is the world that we live in, but it seems like all the hate is always attracted to the success, and you've been having a lot of success, and I think that kind of fuels it, and it's probably like that in all aspects and all these riders, but it's so weird, but it's cool that everyone is still so close-knit, like you said, coming up to you and Yamaha stuff and probably asking for autographs and stuff. I think it's super cool to be involved with it, but as far as like that stuff is concerned, Stu is like more of like a polarizing figure. Like he's loud, he's in your face, and he gets the attention. You're more laid back, and your results definitely show out on the track. But is that something? Do you pay attention to any of that, or does that affect you at all? Like with the hype surrounding Stu, and then like you've been leading the points the whole time, or is it just business as usual?
I mean, I feel like Stu likes the limelight. Like he thrives in it. Like that's something I feel like if he's not a part of it, like he's trying to find a way to get there. And for me, like I don't like being the center of attention. Like I don't know. It's just not something that like I'm into. Like I like to just show up to the race, do my thing, and head out. Like honestly, that's it. Like it's crazy. I used to love when I could just show up and no one knew who I was. But I don't know. It's definitely like awesome that like I got all these people that care about me and want to see me do good and cheer me on. But like I guess the only thing that like would affect me, not really affect me, but like get under my skin is like just like the showboating and stuff. But like when you're winning, like you got to celebrate. Like it's cool. Like I'm not against what he's doing, but that is just the only thing that's like, man, all right, I got to beat him. So I want to take that away from him, like I want to be that guy. But other than that, nah, I mean, it's cool. Like we're two like totally different people, I feel like, but we get along, and I mean, he keeps it interesting for sure. He's like almost the guy you gotta love to hate him, but nah, it is what it is. It's cool. It's better than just being boring, it just is what it is. I just don't like post everything or show everything that I'm doing in my life. I don't know, I just show up and I race.
Is there any part in your brain that came around those last few corners in Sunday's race that thought, maybe I should loop this thing out?
Dude, not gonna lie, it did. Like, I was like, I had plenty of a lead, but I was still just like, I don't know, just like riding fast. Like, it was just fun. The way the track was just like, it was super rough and like gnarly. And yeah, but like coming through those last few corners, like, got like some cool pit boards from people just like congratulating me. And I was just like, ripped the wheelie, and then going through the finish, I was like, man, I don't even know what I'm gonna do here, but it did go through my mind. I'm like, should I loop this thing out? I'm like, nah, that's his thing. I'll let him keep that. So I just revved it to the moon, and that was about it. Just cruised through. Like, I don't know, it's weird. Like, it's all this hype and anticipation, and like, then you just cross the finish line, and it's like, it's over. Like, it's almost more of a sigh of relief than it is like how happy you are, which is like almost a shame. But I don't know. It's just, I've never really been one to like be over the top in the way I celebrate. Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to come up with my own thing. Not the loop outs. I don't even know if I could do it. I'd probably end up going down and blowing my knee out or something. So we'll leave that to him.
I mean, it's funny you said that, because I was standing right there, like at the finish line, like next to Ricky when you came through, and that was the first thing that came to my mind when I saw you go through. And you gave like a rev, but it just looked like relief. It looked like, all right,
yeah,
one more step in the right direction, got the points lead back. Like, that's what I took from that 3 seconds of seeing you go through that finish line. So it's funny that you say that that's how it felt.
Yeah, no, definitely.
So just a couple more questions, man, and I appreciate you taking the time. I don't want to take your whole night from you, but one thing that I've kind of thought about all year and all last year even, is that there was a lot of talk, especially after your dominant success in the XC2. There's a lot of people, of course, with the bike that you're on, the team that you're on, and the guy that just quit riding those bikes last year. There's a lot of talks about filling those shoes. I mean, Caleb came in, did stuff that no one else in the history has done before, and now you're that guy. You're that guy stepping in. You're on the factory KTM team. You're under the rig, and there's a lot of people are saying that you're going to be the guy for the next 8 years or however long. Do you have any pressure either from the team or from yourself, mainly between the team or yourself, to fill those shoes and kind of pick up where Caleb left off? Or is it kind of like you doing your own thing and not even thinking about that?
I don't know, maybe somewhere in the middle there. Like, the team definitely wants a guy like that. Like, they basically sit you down and ask you like your goals and whatnot, and like they're like, yeah, what do you think? Are you the guy? You just like say yes if you want to, or say like, nah, I just plan on getting third place, like just put me out there. I'm just riding my dirt bike. But nah, I definitely think like I could be the guy for sure. But I don't know, I don't like have aspirations to like try to win 8 championships or break his title record or win record. Like, I don't know, I just don't think that far ahead, I feel like. Plus, like, I like doing so many other things. Like, I did the extreme racing. Like, I don't know, I just like riding everything. So, I don't know, maybe I won't race GNCC for that long. Maybe I'll end up going racing some other series or doing this or doing that. But, like, as of now, like, I definitely want to try to win one championship and back it up with another, and we'll go from there. But I don't know, it's definitely a good feeling winning these races, and they're super grueling and tough, and like honestly it's so like hard out there and physically demanding that it's not fun all the time. But there's definitely the environment at the races and just like the tight racing and just all the people I've met there and just everyone that puts on the series. Like, it's definitely the most like well put on series, and just like the variety of the tracks and everything is like so cool. So I don't know, I could see myself definitely doing it for a long time, and yeah, just that winning feeling, like it brings you back every time. So we'll see. Definitely, like, yeah, it's a lot of pressure if they're trying to find someone to fill Caleb's shoes, but yeah, I think I could be that guy, so we'll see.
So what's your I just want to ask you, what is your like pre-race routine, like the day of the races? What do you do? Because it sounds like you don't let a lot of the pressure get to you, and it kind of sounds like you said, you just want to get there, get done, and get out. But I don't know why, and I don't know if this has anything to do with it or not, but it seems like I always see you before a race. Like, everyone's all over the place, and it seems like I always see you just, like, walking around or, like, out by yourself or at a car. Like, I saw you Sunday, like, before the Mountaineer. I saw you. So, like, what's your routine? Do you like to kind of just get away and be by yourself? Is that why you do that, or is it just a coincidence that...
I feel like it's just a coincidence, but, like...
Dang, I was really hoping there was going to be some crazy answer there.
Nah, no crazy answer. Well, like, it seems like a lot of people like to mountain bike the track with other people and whatnot, but, like, I like to do that by myself, like, kind of have no one in front of me and, like, just, like, not talking to people or anything, just, like, out there by yourself. You're, like, actually focusing at like, paying attention to the track and whatnot. Like, anytime I'm out there with other people, it's, like, we're talking or doing this, and it's, like, 4 miles later, I'm like, yeah, I don't even know what I just did. Like, I'm just out here. But, like, I don't know, like, no crazy routine, like... I just go to the, have breakfast or whatever, go to the race, and usually, like, I end up getting there at, like, 9 or something, so I'll go, like, mountain bike the track, and by the time I'm done with that, it's, like, 10:30, so, like, I usually catch, like, the morning race go by for their, like, first lap, and I'll just see what's going on there, and cruise back, and, like, talk to my mechanic, just kind of hang out under the rig, and we're usually, we keep it, like, lighthearted. We're always messing around, talking about something or whatever, whoever I'm seeing. But, like, yeah, I don't know, just kind of keeping it chill. And next thing I know, I'm like, I got to start gearing up. So I'm just, like this week, I was just hanging out of the back of my truck, gearing up on my cooler, just watching, the morning race as they're going by. And I don't know, I'm, like, interested in that racing, like, in the WXC class. Like, it seems like it's been good racing this year, so I'm just watching them, seeing what's going on with them, and yeah, gearing up, and then next thing you know, it's time to race. So yeah, I guess I keep it pretty chill and don't really think too much about the race. I just focus on, like, the track and what lines I'm gonna take, and yeah, just what I'm getting ready to do. Go out there and suffer for 3 hours basically and try to bang bars and have some fun, as much fun as possible.
That's awesome, and it seems like the fun is definitely not lost on you. But yeah, dude, that WXC class, the way that they've all pushed each other and how fast they've gotten here lately, and now, like you said, that championship coming down to the wire, and it being Becca's last year, and I think it's Rachel's second year, and so a whole bunch of stuff going on with that one. But last question here, man. I know you're right on the verge of a national enduro title too, sitting second in points over there. What do you think about that format of racing? Like, how do you... GNCC is a 3-hour sufferfest. What do you think about national enduro? And, I mean, how do you compare the two, or is there no comparison?
I mean, it's still dirt bike racing through the woods. I mean, it's quite different because you're out there by yourself, like, you don't have other guys to key off of. And the trail's usually a lot tighter, but, like, it's growing on me. Like, there were times where, like, I didn't like the national enduros at all. Like, it's funny, like, anyone that wants to, like, go out and just race for fun, like, I would recommend the national enduros, because, like, that's the kind of trail riding, like, I love to do, to just go out and do with my buddies, like, single track, just, like, the tracks are not that rough, and yeah, that's usually just epic trail riding. But, like, when you got to go out there and race it as fast as you can, and you don't even know what's coming at you, and yeah, you got the pressure of, like, to perform. Like, I don't know, it could be super frustrating at times when you're not doing good, and just, like, if you're not, gelling with the track and everything. But it's growing on me, and I feel like I'm finally figuring it out. But yeah, I think I'm, like, third in points now. I think Josh bumped by me at the last race, and Stu's got I think Stu's got a 1 race lead on him, so he's sitting pretty good there. But yeah, I've been having some strong performances there as of late, and yeah, we'll see. Just I've been just trying to have a lot more fun at those, and I think that's helped me. And I've like figured some things out. Maybe like not being overly aggressive. You know, it's easy to do when you have no idea what's coming at you. You know, ripping down the trail blind. But it's cool to like have the variety for sure between that and GNCC. I mean, anytime you're out riding your dirt bike, it's fun, and yeah, we get paid to do it, so it's surreal. And yeah, it's like Josh and I laugh about it all the time, joke about it, like it's wild. Like, yeah, whether you have a good day like or a bad day, like end of the day you're racing your dirt bike for a living, so it's awesome. We're definitely spoiled.
Yeah, definitely a lot worse ways to make a living, I can tell you that. But
yeah.
Man, your second race ever came at Ironman, and now this championship is going to be decided at Ironman in 2 weeks or next weekend. I wish you all the luck, man. Is that a track that you'd say suits your riding style? It seems like Ironman is a track that can suit anybody's riding style.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's my favorite track, like, all year round. Like, I don't know, it's just always super fun. Like, gets rough and whooped out, and it's super fast, and just the dirt's usually super good there. It's just yeah, it's just a fun track, and I just seem to do really well there. So yeah, I'm definitely excited to get out there and have that be the final round.
Sweet, man. I'm looking forward to it. I couldn't miss that race for the world. A lot riding on it, and you sitting in the points lead, but going out there to get a win and put an exclamation mark on it. Man, good luck at Ironman, and we'll see you out there, and thanks a ton for taking the time out and talking with us tonight.
Yeah, man, no problem. Thanks for having me on. Yeah, let's have an exciting race here at Ironman in 2 weeks.
And hey, man, don't be afraid to just completely redline it and dump the clutch going through the finish line if you want to.
Yeah, we'll see. It depends how I cross the finish line, but maybe I'll have something up my sleeve.
All right, man. We'll see you. Thanks again.
Later.